Good evening. Tonight on Beyond the Words, we're going to be talking about
what it means to be a mother.
a mudda.
A mudda.
Your father's a mudda too.
Your mudda's a mudda.
Coming up. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Beyond the Words, Mother's Day edition. I'm Lon.
I'm Lisa.
And this is a show where we talk about faith, family,
And this
and
is
Rufus. What are you doing, Rue? This is Rufus, by the way. This is a show where we talk about faith, family, and relationships and give you some practical things that you can do to strengthen those relationships in your life. And that's what the show is all about. Today is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
We hope that you called your mom if you were able to and wished her a happy Mother's Day. And if you're a mother yourself, we wish you a happy Mother's Day as well.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes. And so being that it's Mother's Day, we're going to probably keep it a little bit shorter this evening because we want to celebrate Mother's Day too. So, but we wanted to jump on here at least for a little bit and share a few things with you because we love you guys so much.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. We would love for you to connect with us, and Rufus would love that too. If you would, you can do that just by sending us an email at lonandlisa@gobeyondthewords.com. That's lonandlisa@gobeyondthewords.com. Also, anytime during the show, excuse me, if you want to connect, if you want to comment, or if you've got something that you would like to share, post it down in the comment section below, and we'll see it here on our screen, and maybe towards the end of the show we'll have some Q&A time. We'll put that up there and have some discussion that way. We love to do that. Also, please help us to share this video and to build our channel by clicking share and sharing it with your friends and family. Also, click the like button and go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You can do that if you're viewing us from Facebook. There should be a link on the YouTube tab. Just click the subscribe button there, or you can go over and Google us at YouTube at Go Beyond the Words, and you should be able to find us there too.
I'm going to start wearing glasses because I'm afraid you're going to put my eye out.
Do I do that?
Yes.
Listen, Rufus, buddy, you're not
He's
handling
afraid you're going
this
to put his eye out
very
too.
well. Yes. Well, I might put his eye out. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We are so glad that you're here with us. Before we get into our main topic, which is really us sharing a little bit about what it means to be a mom, really more or less what it means to be a mom to you, because I'm not a mom.
What?
I know.
Wow.
But I'll be sharing a little bit about my mom,
Mm-hmm.
because she's cool.
And she's a mom.
And she's a mom, so we love that. I see Davina's on board. She's watching, and yes, Rufus is going
watching.
nuts. So, and Lucas is here with us. She's joined us here. Good to have you, Lucas. Great to see you tonight. Yeah, before we get into our main discussion about being a mom, we want to share our weekly Adventures with Lon and Lisa little video. Now, this is a clip that we shot a long time ago, a couple of years, 2 or 3 years ago. Actually,
4 years ago.
4 years ago. Gosh, has it been that long?
Well, it'll be 4 years in July. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, it has. It'll be 4 years in July. I can't believe it's been
You were
that
in
long ago.
cryostasis. So.
Oh, that's what it means. Well, anyway, without any further ado, we're going to share that with you, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about what it means to be a mom. So enjoy this video. And that's a little bit of our adventure from 4 years. I cannot believe it's been 4 years ago.
You put up with me for a long time.
That was, I think that was actually our first adventure.
It was.
It was part of our first adventure. So we went to Adventures in the Gorge in West Virginia, did some rappelling, jumped off of the bridge. No, we didn't jump off the bridge. But every year they have a thing called Bridge Day there. Right. Red Bull sponsors it, and I'm sure a bunch of other sponsors. But yeah, and so they have base jumpers that actually jump off the big bridge, and it's pretty cool. I wouldn't do it, but I'm a chicken that way.
Well, we had fun rappelling, though.
But we did have, yeah, we did. We had a lot of fun rappelling, and it was really, really good. Yeah. So today, again, man, I can't get rid of this cough. It's allergy season here in Ohio, and I'm getting.
You're embracing it.
I'm not willingly embracing it, but I'm embracing it nonetheless. Yeah. You can probably hear me swallowing in the microphone there. Funny story. Every time that we have a meal together,
it's not funny. It's horrible.
We have to have some sort of music or a TV or something going on in the background because she cannot stand to hear like anyone chewing or drinking or anything, any of those funky noises that we make when we eat or drink. So, funny story. But so
he doesn't eat chicken wings around me.
So we don't, I don't eat chicken wings. So let's get into our main topic today and about what it means to be a mom. So you tell the audience, tell our viewers what you think. What does it mean to be a mom to you?
It means never sleeping.
There you have it. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever fully slept through the night because you always have that, if the phone makes any kind of noise, I'm instantly, is it one of my kids? And I mean, they're adults, but I will still check. If it's one of my kids, I'm there.
So it's that maternal instinct that
Absolutely.
Kicks in.
Yeah.
So you don't remember having that before you had children. It was.
No.
But once you had children,
oh, absolutely.
It was it was instinctive. Like, see, I don't understand that because I can sleep through
right.
a hurricane.
Right. Yeah.
And it just doesn't faze me. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess that is a maternal instinct.
Absolutely. Yeah. And but it's not something I would ever change. It's not something that I resent or it's there, and I love my kids. I wouldn't change them. They are completely different. They are night and day. You can attest to that.
I can attest to that. Yes. Every child is different.
Yes, but mine are, they're completely different. And I adore them both. They are constantly kind of battling for, who's my favorite, which one, when Ryan gave me my Mother's Day gift or told me what my Mother's Day gift was, his first question was, did I do better than Madison? Did I beat Madison?
Sibling rivalry. Isn't it great?
But I adore them both.
Yeah.
And I always say she's my favorite daughter and he's my favorite son.
Well, yeah,
so.
you have only one of each.
Right, so I can say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, we're doing something a little different today. We're not doing our traditional 10 list. But I thought it was really cool too, today being Mother's Day, because over the next few weeks, our conversations here on Beyond the Words are going to kind of shift a little bit. And so we're going to be talking a little bit more about things that change when you have kids. And so as a married couple, and you begin to have kids, and a lot of things change. And so I think it's really appropriate that it's Mother's Day and that we're kicking off this kind of thing.
I thought it was neat that our Mother's Day special happened on Mother's Day too.
That
was a coincidence.
I just had my mind blown. That's amazing. That's amazing. So, what about what are some of your fondest memories when your kids were really, really young? Some of your fondest memories of mothering them, or maybe something they did to show their appreciation for you in the past.
When they were really young, one of the things that we used to do is I would take them on Fridays. We would go to McDonald's, which was the only place that Ryan would go out to eat. And Madison would order her own meal because Madison was very articulate. So Ryan would insist on ordering his own. Mm-hmm. And Ryan wasn't so much articulate.
So how would he order?
So he would go up and he would say, I want a French fry Happy Meal with French fries.
He just cared about the French fries.
And of course they would like. And so I would stand behind him and I would say, a 4-piece chicken nugget Happy Meal. And if the person wasn't super with it, they wouldn't just ring it up, they would repeat it, and it would make him, of course, kind of mad that they didn't understand that he just wanted a French fry Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Because he's a kid, and just accept that he just wants his French fry Happy Meal. And so it was kind of very Ryan of him.
Yeah.
So it was always super fun. Every Friday.
Yeah, Caleb was very picky.
Was?
Well, he is very picky. He still is. He still is very picky. He's branched out a little bit, but not too much. Not by a lot, by any means. But yeah, his big thing was chicken nuggets. That's the only thing I could get him to eat. And it was it's pretty interesting that there were several times when I would try to mix things in, and
I remember.
I try to mix things in. So one time it was breakfast and I was making pancakes, and I figured if I kind of diced up some cauliflower really, really finely and just sprinkled that in, at least he would get a little bit of veggies, and sprinkled that into the mix, and whatever reason he caught on or something, and he would not. No sir, he's not eating those pancakes because there was something foreign in that pancake that he did not know, and he didn't know what it was. And so yeah.
Oh, Caleb's so picky. I remember when he was going to that one restaurant in Pataskala, and they changed the ranch.
Yeah. Jimmy V's.
And then he wouldn't even go to that restaurant anymore because they changed the brand of ranch dressing.
Right. So it was a little different, and so he was like, no more ranch dressing.
Never go to that restaurant again because they changed the brand of ranch dressing. Yeah. He's not super picky though. Just a little
just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. So
what are your fondest memories of your mom?
Of my mom?
You probably have one or two, right?
Well, Okay. So well, I wouldn't say that these are fond memories. I wouldn't say that these are fond memories. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my mom. She is awesome. But she was the disciplinary person in our household. Dad very rarely did any discipline things, with us kids. It was mostly Mom. And for me, because I was the firstborn, I probably caught the brunt of that. And so one particular time when I was a kid, my sister, I have one sibling, a sister, a younger sister, and I don't remember what it was we had done, but Mom was upset about something, and I remember being in our vehicle. She wasn't in the vehicle. She had gone somewhere.
So how old were you?
Let's see. I must have been 8 or 9 years old. So Tracy is 4 years younger than me. So that would have made her 4 or 5 years old, something like that. And so we had done something. She was upset. Mom left. Excuse me. She left the house. She was, let me just reiterate, she was not there. Okay? And Tracy and I were in the El Camino. We had an old El Camino. We were sitting there on the bench seat in the El Camino, and we had this discussion that we were going to sneak into their closet and take away all the belts, because that was their choice their disciplinary thing. It wasn't a switch for us. It was the belt. And we were going to take the belts and we were going to hide them. They were never going to be able to find the belts, so they couldn't spank us again.
You're a genius.
See, I got this, right? So, a little bit of time passed. We were in the house. Mom came home and she said, "Now what's this I hear about you guys hiding all the belts?" And I was floored. I had no idea how she knew. And it was at that point that I knew that my mom had special superpowers. In fact, she could probably be an Avenger. It's very possible that she is an Avenger, but I don't know that for sure. But I know that it was crazy. She blew us away, completely blew us away. So there you go. That's one of them. Should I share more?
You should share what you and Jay did.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So. Okay. I apologize, Mom, if you're listening in or watching this. Anyway, I'll tell it. Okay. My mom, I love her. She is scared to death of snakes. Just absolutely, what's the word I'm looking for? She's just scared of them. She's completely frightened of them. It doesn't even have to be close to her. It can be like 20, 30 feet away or whatever, and she just is freaking out. And we live down at the lake, Lake Marion, in South Carolina, and and my best friend, who lived just a couple of trailers down from us, we had been swimming earlier that day at the lake. He had gone and changed, and he came back. And when he came back, he brought this little blow up snake, toy snake. And so we were talking. We said, "Well, we're gonna play a prank on her. We're gonna scare her, right?" And so we took that little snake and we hid it behind we had a big console TV and a VCR, a VHS machine. And so we hid it way down there where it's really dark. I mean, on the floor. And I told Mom, I said I couldn't get I made up some excuse. Like we couldn't get the connection to the TV right or something like that, and could she come over and fix it?
Oh.
And she came over and she reached down there and she fiddled with the wires and was looking around, and she paused for just a second, and a split second later I had never heard a sound like this before or since. She came out of there so fast, screaming so loud, and I seriously, I was scared to death that my mom was going to die of a heart attack. Seriously, I was absolutely just terrified that she was dying of a heart attack, and it was my fault. And she came out of there, and as soon as I heard the scream, I was like, "No, Mom, it's a toy." And once she found out it was a toy, oh my gosh. I thought...
Did she send Jay home?
Well, I thought, I know she was going to spank me. I knew that was for sure. But I thought she was going to go after Jay too. And she just said, "Jay, you go home right now." And so he was like, "Yes, ma'am." And he left. Oh my gosh. That was something. It's funny now, but
she doesn't think it's funny.
She doesn't think it's funny at all.
Dang.
Yeah. So those were two fond.
But she still loves you.
And she still loves me. She still loves me. After all of that, you still love me, Mom.
Even though you're a big dumb dummy.
I'm a big dumb dummy, and she still loves me. Yeah, yes, she is.
Mom.
She is a great mom. She is. So that's my story. That's a couple of my childhood stories.
Yeah.
So what about you?
Some things, I grew up in Pensacola, and my mom used to take me running. We used to run 10Ks. That's 6.2 miles. And one of the ones we did was the Azalea Trail Run, which was over in Mobile.
Okay.
And that was a really big one. So that was quite an adventure to go all the way over there and, spend the night and get up early in the morning. And there was so much camaraderie and stuff. That was fantastic. But we ran a lot of them. And so that was a really fond memory that I have of being able to do that, and it was something that we did together. And another thing that we used to do is we used to go to the theater. We just went to see Wicked.
Yes. Excellent.
Yes, excellent. And that's something that my mom and I used to do. There was the Pensacola Little Theater. We used to do that, in the Sanger Theater. And there was one show that we went to, and I don't know the name of it, but it was kind of a spoof, and they sold peanuts, and you got to boo and throw peanuts at the actors and stuff. It was fantastic. Yeah,
really?
It was so fun. She might remember the name of it. I don't, but it was fantastic.
I don't know that I would want to be an actor in that play.
Yeah, it was great. They tied the actress to the railroad tracks and stuff. It was so cute. It was fantastic. Yeah, it was great. But yeah, it was but that's where my love for the theater came from. So we saw a lot of good plays.
Excellent.
The Pensacola Little Theater. I don't even know if it's still around. Yeah, I should Google that. I Googled everything. So
Google it.
I'll Google it.
Absolutely.
But
so you mentioned that once you started having kids, that basically your maternal instincts kicked in, and so what are some other things that might have changed? Is there anything else that might have changed?
As far as what else
Well,
changed? My sleeping habits, my maternal instincts.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everything about me changed. I mean, I grew up instantly. You know, I was pretty young when I had my kids. I'm only 30 now, so.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I was really, really young, since
You were
Madison is 26 and I'm
You were
30. I was 4.
Yeah, I know. You're super young. Yeah.
I was 4 when I had her, so yeah.
Well, did it scare you? When you found out you were pregnant, did it scare you?
It's funny because I don't think I was smart enough to be scared. Does that make sense? When I look back and think about, everything now, like, I really should have been more terrified. And I guess now, thinking about everything that, I should have been more terrified, but no, at the time I was more ecstatic, and I was completely ready. But
Yeah, because
but now I'm not. Thinking back, I'm like, I'm not ready for everything that I went through.
Well, because there's no handbook,
right.
and every child is different.
Right.
Like you said, your 2 kids are different. Now, so just to illustrate that, your kids were very different.
Mm-hmm.
What were the differences? Like, Madison's the older child.
Right.
Describe what she's like. Maybe not compare as in one's good or one's bad, but
One's good, one's bad.
but one is good and one's good. No.
This is the good one. It's Cut to Black. And this one's
Cut
my
to Black.
favorite. So Madison didn't start walking until after she was 1, but she could speak in complete sentences.
By the time she was
By the
1.
time she was 1,
Okay.
she was speaking in complete sentences.
Wow.
Ryan was walking, and he still does not speak in complete sentences.
He's better about it, though.
He's just like,
He's learning.
But Madison spoke for him. He never had to speak in complete sentences because she was his attorney. Madison, attorney at law.
So explain that a little bit,
because when he wanted something, he had her, and he would just be like, and she would say, Ryan would like whatever it is. Ryan would like a piece of cheese. Ryan would like this. Ryan is feeling this. And she was basically his mother. When he was born, she would say, this is my baby. Like, no, he's actually my baby, but, So she still feels very maternal toward him. Mm-hmm. So that's how they're different. But yeah, I mean, he knew how to walk, he knew how to use the VCR, he knew, everything. But he didn't talk because he didn't need to. Mm-hmm. So they're just very, very different.
And Madison was more of a reader.
Yeah, she would
didn't
read, and she would sit there in my lap, and I would open a book, and we had a book. It was Yapple the Turtle, and I would open it up, and she would say, early one morning, Yapple the Turtle decided to go for a walk. And it was the first, it was the beginning of the book, and I would turn the page, and she would know the second page, and, she wasn't reading the book, but she knew every page. And if I missed a page, she'd say, oh, you missed this page, and she would turn it back. And it was, it was amazing. But
So how did the attorney thing work when, let's say, maybe one of them had done something wrong, and
are you talking about Ryan getting hit by a car?
no, no, but just like like you mentioned, she's kind of going to bat for him, and there are times that you needed to be the parent, but maybe she would say, well, he didn't know what he was doing or whatever. Yeah.
It would get in the way a lot, and a lot of times they would both end up in timeout.
Wow.
Yes, I would have to remove her from the situation to get to him.
Right. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But it's funny because with one child, you figure if you can get them trained up in a little bit, and you figure, okay, well, I got this. I figured out this works, and this worked, and then another child comes along,
and you assume that's going to work.
And you assume that's going to work too, but it doesn't work. So then your whole strategy has to change.
Right.
And then on top of that, when they get old enough to speak for for themselves,
right.
then sometimes they actually kind of get in the way of your parenting as well. Not obviously intentionally, but.
Right.
But they do, because they figure, I want to be like mom or dad or whatever, and so. And
they had completely different currency. Madison, I could take away a Game Boy because they both had Game Boys, and she's like, "Well, that's fine. I have a book."
Right.
You could take away all of Ryan's books. He's like, "That's fine. I'll just have my Game Boy. I don't. Like
yeah, he didn't
anyway.
care about reading, so.
What's a book?
Crazy.
So yeah. It was completely different.
That's crazy. That's awesome, though.
And also Madison's currency, if I took myself away from her, that was devastating to her.
So time out for her really was
physically taking her away from Ryan and from me. So if I physically, I would say, you are in timeout, you are away from us. That would hurt her a lot more than physically taking.
Would you like send her to a room or something like that? Or?
Well, I would tell her she's not allowed to talk.
Oh no, you
Madison,
didn't.
just like, I can't talk. It was like telling me I can't talk. Like, no, anything but that. I have to be able to talk.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have to find their currency, and that's what you have to use.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, being a mom, obviously, I don't know what it's like to be a mom. I know kind of what it's like to be a dad, but it's different too, because the maternal instinct is very different from the paternal instinct, because guys just don't do it that way. We're just like, suck it up, champion, come on, and mom's more like, it's my baby. Right?
Yeah.
So definitely different parenting styles, and obviously you have to have different parenting styles for different kids.
Right.
Because every kid is different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, well, cool. Anything else you want to?
Yes.
You want to add?
So, these are my Mother's Day socks from Madison.
Look at that right
She
there.
actually had pictures of Rufus put on socks, and this is my Mother's Day gift from last year.
Yes. And I will say, again, I'm speaking from a dad's perspective and not a mother's perspective, but I can imagine that those little things, like, getting flowers from your child, or even just getting a text or a phone call just to say, hey, Mom.
Or a dryer.
Or a dryer.
Ryan got us a dryer.
So,
yeah, we have good kids.
Yeah, that's cool. But that stuff goes a long way. It says something about the connection and there's no other connection like a mother and her children. There's really just not. So that's amazing. Absolutely. So with that, I'm just going to share a couple of Bible verses that kind of go along with that. And the first one comes from Proverbs 22:6. It says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and even when he is old, he will not depart from it." And of course, the responsibility of that verse is really on both parents, both the father and the mother. But yeah, it's that's where it starts, right there. You know, we train up a child, and it doesn't start when they're 15, 16.
Right.
If you try to start when they're that old, you've already missed it. You know, it's too late at that point. You have to start right from day one.
Right.
So you didn't get much sleep. Was there any kind of trick or thing that you would do to try and get, I mean, at what point did they actually start sleeping through the night?
Well, actually, Ryan had a lot of ear infections, and so the only way that he could sleep was sitting up in my lap, and I had an old chair, and so I would have to hold him, and that's how he would sleep. And so for the first 3 years of his life, that's how we slept. So it was really hard. And yeah, so they were repeatedly doing the ear draining thing and tubes. So
Yeah, it's
so
wild, because even, you know, you figure, okay, I got this parenting thing, and then especially with kids that have physical difficulties or illnesses.
right.
I mean, if you don't, I mean, you don't know that stuff unless you're, you know, going to school to be a doctor or a nurse or something like that. But it's one of those things that every parent has to go through. You're concerned about your kids, and you want them to be healthy, and
Right.
and when they're crying and things like that, you don't know what they're crying about, and you have to
Right.
try to kind of decipher what that code is. Like, oh, my stomach hurts.
Right.
Or, oh, I just want to be with you or next to
Yeah.
you or whatever.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of decode all of that. So yeah, that's crazy. I'll share, let's see, there's one other passage that I thought would not necessarily, I mean, it's not necessarily about kids, but it kind of demonstrates the importance of the mother of Jesus, Mary, Jesus' mom, who was essentially by his side, you know, the whole time, and even on his way to the cross, Mary was there too, and even in his, I mean, Christ is on the cross, and he's dying there, and I'll just share the scripture with you. And this is from the ASV version. This is in John chapter 19, verses 25 through 27. Oh yeah, let me get rid of that. It says,
Still.
oh, interesting. Okay. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. No? That's interesting. Okay, well, I will just read it, because I can't, for some reason my little thing isn't working here. But I'll just read it to you. John chapter 19, verses 25 through 27, and it says, "These things, therefore, the soldiers did, but there were standing by the cross of Jesus his mother, and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. And then when Jesus saw his mother and his disciples were standing by, he said to his mother, 'Woman, behold thy son.' And then he said to the disciple, "Behold thy mother." And from that hour, the disciple took her into his own home and cared for her. And that's, it goes to show the bond between a mother and her son. I mean, Jesus is, you would think that his mind is in
Right.
a lot of different places, being up on the cross. He's dying, the death of a cross, and yet at the same time he sees his mother, and he commits his mother to one of his disciples, and vice versa. He's like, care for my mom.
Right.
And so the bond between a mother and a child is pretty strong, not easily broken by any means.
True.
Yep. Well, that just about does it for this portion of the show. We've got a couple of comments here or questions that we'll put up here. Davina writes, "Did y'all have any issues blending your families when you married, children becoming siblings?" What would you say?
Well, this is a little bit different in our situation because of the age difference and because my kids were so much older. Madison was already...
Yeah, Madison was had almost graduated. She was
Right.
she was in college,
Right.
so she had almost graduated. So there wasn't really an issue there.
Right. She was already out of the house.
Ryan
And then-
was already,
He was living in Panama City,
yeah,
and then he came back to live with us, and we still had Caleb every other weekend and every weekend in the summer.
right.
And they are really good friends.
Yeah, they get along really
They-
well together, I think.
Right.
Especially because both the boys they're into gaming,
Right.
of course.
Right. As
So-
far as being brothers, they have a good bond.
Yeah.
They're good friends.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as saying brothers,
Right.
but they get along great together, for sure. I'm hoping, because here in a few weeks,
Right.
Ryan and Caleb and I are going to go out west and spend a few days out there camping and
Yeah.
doing a guys trip, and so I hope that will be a good bonding experience for them as well. But yeah, and Kelsey, she kind of has her own thing going, so really it's not been that much of an issue, I don't think.
Well,
I mean,
we just she chooses not to be in anyone's life. So,
right, she kind of does that to herself. She's
Right.
chosen, unfortunately, to kind of be withdrawn from us.
Right.
So, and that's unfortunate,
And
but
that's something that we're all praying about, and we have been since she was 13 before I came onto the scene. So
yeah, it was. Yeah, there's a lot of prayer going on, and we're hoping that she'll come around. Maybe, we hope.
and then we take Caleb down to visit when we go down to see Madison. He's been down a few times. And it's
I mean, we all get along.
Yeah.
There's no issue there. So
except us when we fight about the words to Wicked songs. That's the only time we fight.
yes, indeed,
And I'm always right.
you're always right. Do we have any other comments or questions?
Oh, you want to cancel that one out?
It'll go over it.
Oh, she said we have great memories together. Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
we do.
I'm sorry. And she was watching Rufus. She was watching the wrestling match. We sent him upstairs to visit Ryan. That's where he is now. We didn't throw him outside or anything, I promise.
So, but Davina,
Maybe we did.
well, I'm like a huge. I love to film, at least get video clips of where we go and things
Yeah.
of that, because I figure one day we're gonna be too old to get out and do
Like
stuff.
next year.
That might be pretty soon. I don't know, but it'll be good to be able to sit in front of the TV and watch you know, where we've gone and what we've done, and be able to share that with our kids and our grandkids and things like that. So it's a big deal for us.
We went to the zoo yesterday and we took some video there, so that'll probably be next week.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
I don't. Joanne McLean.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. I'm not sure what you're thanking us for, but
You're welcome.
if you're watching, thank you for watching.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
And have a great weekend.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
That's it.
Yep.
We probably don't have a whole lot of people watching because of the Mother's Day thing. So, but that's okay. That's okay. Again, like I said, this is kind of the start of us going into the next few weeks talking about kids and talking about, you know, how to keep your marriage alive and intact when you have kids, and, you know, maybe talking about ways of disciplining and things like that.
Belts. Lots
Belts.
of belts.
Yes. Hide the belts. Hide the belts. No, and I will say this too. I want to reiterate, I love my mom and dad. I love them. In no way, shape, or form did they, you know, damage me because they disciplined me that way by any
Oh,
means.
no. They were
In fact, I think it probably made me a better person.
Absolutely.
I think so. So yeah. So that just about does it. That wraps it up. Today's show. Again, if you will do us a favor and like the video and subscribe to our channel, share it with all your friends and family. We really want to be able to build the channel up to a place where we can help a lot of people, and so that's kind of our goal. You know, we want to share a little bit about our life, and
You want to be
hopefully-
popular enough to get a better co-host. That's what you said.
That is not. I'm not going to Kelly Ripa you. I'm not going to.
That's what he's trying to do. He's
I'm
trying
not
to get
gonna-
a better co-host.
I'm not going to Kelly Ripa you. Is it Kelly Ripa? Yes. So we'll leave you with this thought. May tomorrow, what is it?
Be a perfect.
Be a perfect day. May you find love and laughter along the way. May God keep you in His tender care till He brings us together again.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.